So Johnny and I were talking the other day, and we were trying to figure out a way to get more reviews on our podcast. And it really comes back to the entire thesis of what we built the business around, which is adding value first. In our business, that looks like asking people to be a guest on our podcast, adding value to them by giving them exposure to our audience before we ever initiate a sales conversation with them. I think so many times we go direct to our potential buyers by shoving our offering down their throat without offering real value first. And there are other ways to offer value, obviously, besides asking someone to be a guest on your podcast or asking if you can feature them in a column that you write for a larger publication, like what I do with Huffington Post. But I see too many people, I get too many emails in my inbox of people trying to extract value from me first by selling me their thing before trying to add value to me. And so the same applies to this new thing that we're going to start trying to do moving forward. I don't know if this will be just this month or if we're going to do it month to month. We'll see how the results go. But basically what we're going to do is an incentive to trying to get as many reviews on the podcast as we can. We're offering to do a free podcast launch. So here's how it's going to work. So if you have been thinking about doing a podcast, be it for your company or your personal brand, and you're just overwhelmed by the sheer amount of time that it is going to take to get it done, getting the logo designed, getting all the copy written, figuring out how to work with podcast hosting providers, we will actually do all of that for you. We do this day in and day out for our clients, for ourselves. That's how we obviously do this daily show. And so we know podcasting like the back of our hand. We can get shows launched typically within 45 to 60 days. And so we are going to offer one free podcast launch to someone in the next 30 days. With this podcast launch, you are going to get 3 episodes fully produced. You're going to get a logo designed. You're going to get all the copy written for iTunes. You're going to get headline and quote graphic templates designed from our design team. You will be fully set up to have your own podcast. We'll launch it in iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and TuneIn Radio. So it will be syndicated in all of those platforms. And all you have to do is leave a review on B2B Growth. Whenever you leave that review, if you go to the podcast app on your phone, just hit search and type in B2B Growth. When you do that, you'll see our podcast pop up. Just go to the reviews tab once you click on our show. You can leave that review and then send a screenshot because it takes about a day or two for those reviews to actually get published to iTunes. So right before you hit send on that review, just take a screenshot, email it to james@sweetfishmedia.com. I will be looking at all of those reviews over the next 30 days, and we will select the winner for who we're going to be launching a podcast for. I just wrapped up a blog post titled How to Start a Podcast for a B2B Brand. It walks through our 26-step process for how to start a podcast, what we do for our clients. You'll see, if you look at that blog post, you'll see that it's a very involved process. There's a lot of steps involved. And so by having us kind of jumpstart your podcast for you, get it launched with those first 3 episodes, then you will be much more likely to maintain the show once you've got over the initial inertia of getting the show launched and up in iTunes and all of these different podcast channels. So leave a review. Go to B2B Growth in your podcast app, leave that review, send me a screenshot to james@sweetfishmedia.com. Again, I'll be looking at those over the next 30 days, and we'll be choosing our winner. And so I'm really excited to hopefully see a lot of reviews come in, and really pumped to launch a podcast for someone in our listening audience.